Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Lunch and Learn series. I'm Helen Panos, Dynamis Learning, K through 12 tutoring, SAT, ACT prep company, and executive functioning. We also do advocacy, and I'm coming on today. This is the only other month we are doing the Lunch and Learn series. We have a couple more coming up after this week. Next week, I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking to. Let me find that out real quick for you. On the 21st, I'll be doing the first 30 days, keys to student success, getting ready for the school year to start. I can't believe it. Most private schools start around August 13th, but the public schools start around August 3rd in the Atlanta metro area. And so it's coming up really quickly. It's already July 14th, right? On July 28th, join us with, I'm going to be interviewing Alexa Walker. She's going to be talking about parenting under pressure, understanding your nervous system, and you don't want to miss that. She has great background, and so you definitely want to hear all about that. So I am here today to talk about, unfortunately, my guest couldn't attend with me today, but we're going to talk about navigating the new realities of college admissions. And my college essay writing coach is under the weather, so I'm doing it today myself. And luckily, I have just interviewed her recently on my podcast, Smart Parents, Successful Students podcast. So that will roll out in August. So you'll hear from her in more detail. But I think I have a great presentation for you today, and talking about navigating this reality. And, things keep changing in terms of college admissions. They always seem to evolve, especially since COVID, let's say. And every year, parents will ask me the same question: what are colleges really looking for? The answer is that colleges are looking for students, not statistics. I think we get caught up in the numbers, meaning SAT, ACT scores and grades and things like that. I'm not saying grades don't matter. Yes, they still do. Test scores still matter at many schools, especially UGA and Georgia Tech. But admissions officers are trying to understand who the student is, how they think, what they've contributed, and whether they are likely to succeed on the campus. It's another transition year. You transition from 5th to 6th grade, you transition from 8th to 9th grade, then 12th to college. And that's your biggest transition in life, really. One of the biggest ones you'll encounter as a student. So today I'd like to answer two questions for you real quick that many families are asking me about. One is, how should families think about balancing the great SAT or ACT score, a great SAT, ACT score, with the other elements of the application? So one of the biggest misconceptions I'd hear is, if my child really gets a high SAT, ACT score, everything else takes care of itself, right? Well, simply really not how admissions works in colleges today. I think it used to work that way a little bit, but think of the college application like it's building a house. The test score is just one important piece of the foundation of the house, but it isn't the entire house. Admissions officers will evaluate the whole student. They like to look at the entire student as a whole. Here's some of the things they're looking for. Academic performance, as we know, over 4 years, not just, sometimes you hear it's, your last 2 years are the most important. Well, you're already applying really at the end of your junior year, starting at your senior year. So really, junior year is one of your hardest years, but definitely they want to see consistency over time. So from 9th to 12th grade is extremely important. I want to definitely point that out. Course rigor. I'm not saying you have to have all AP classes, but 1 or 2 would be good. SAT, ACT scores, yes, they're back. A few colleges may not be asking for them, but where applicable, definitely you want to try to get the highest score possible. Activities and leadership is very important. I think this is where some kids are not doing this. So they need to be looking for leadership type roles that they can do, whether it's through their church organizations and maybe their youth groups there, or something, maybe something related to outreach. Community involvement. There you go. Community involvement is outreach. Essays are very important in the way they're written. We'll talk about that in the next question I'm going to bring up. Recommendations are very important. And character and resilience. Oh my, that's a powerful one that we don't talk too much about. But I do have a blog on resilience that will roll out here. I'm not sure if I'm rolling it out this month, but you can look for it inside of my Dynamis Learning Academy website and go under blogs. And if you type in the search box resilience, it'll come up. So no single piece usually determines the admission. I think people used to do that, not anymore. A strong test score can absolutely strengthen an application. I don't want to downplay the test scores at all. In many cases, it can offset a slightly lower GPA compared to other people, possibly. It can help students qualify for scholarships for sure. Demonstrate college readiness. It stands out. They stand out at test optional colleges if the score is particularly strong. So, yes, I would submit it, even if you're going to a test optional type college. But a grade score cannot compensate for weak grades. Let me repeat that. A strong score, if you're a great test taker, because there are kids out there that are great test takers, but their grades are not very good since ninth grade. A lack of academic effort is really looked upon because, hey, college is not easy and you're going to be there for 4 years, right? Or an application that doesn't tell a meaningful story. Okay, so a great score cannot compensate for the weak grades. Lack of academic can't do it. Or an application that doesn't tell a meaningful story can't do it. So on the other hand, families sometimes swing too far in the opposite direction because many colleges became test optional back in 2020. And some students assume testing no longer matters. Well, that needs to kind of go on the wayside because more and more colleges are realizing that they do need these test scores now because it really is part of the whole entire picture. So that's not true that tests don't matter. They do. So please have a chat with your child about that. Many universities continue to value these strong scores, especially for competitive majors like engineering, business, nursing, computer science. Those are big. And many merit scholarships still rely heavily on the SAT, ACT scores and the performance on them. I mean, this is life. I mean, I can't say I did very well on the SAT, ACT, but I had a very strong GPA. And back then, things were different. Oh, my goodness. Many, many years ago, you were only taking the SAT and ACT one time. That's it. Now, we really suggest people take it 3 times and take both tests at least once. So then we can see where your strength is because my SAT, ACT tutor is very good at determining that after he works with you for a little bit. So if your student can earn a score that can strengthen their application, you need to submit that score because you'll stand out above the rest, and that's what you want. If the score doesn't reflect their academic ability, focus on strengthening the other parts of the application. Again, if you're not a strong score tester like me, a test taker like me, I wasn't, but my academics were very strong, then focus on the academics, the leadership stuff, the other things that I just mentioned, and really get that going. Every student has a different strategy. There isn't a one size fits all, folks. It isn't. That's not the answer. Parents should also remember that admissions officers appreciate consistency. Again, 9th through 12th grade is very important. Sometimes people are just saying, oh, it's the 11th and 12th grade years. That's not true. It's consistency over time. So a student who challenges themselves with rigorous courses, stays involved in meaningful activities, develops leadership over time, not starting in 11th grade, start in 9th, developing leadership over time and maintaining strong grades often presents a very compelling application. Depth is often what matters most than 20 different activities. Okay. I rather see a student deeply involved in, let's say, 3 meaningful commitments than participating in 15 clubs simply to fill up their resume and say, oh, I did a whole lot of stuff, right? That's not as good as 3 very meaningful commitments that you have done as a student. So colleges notice this word called authenticity, and this is becoming a very big word in 26 because of AI. All right, so we're going to talk kind of a little bit about that now. What are the most important considerations when writing the college essay, especially right now? The college essay has become even more important because it's often the only place where students can really come to their own voice, right? And it comes through. Admission officers already know the students' GPAs. They can get that. They've seen the transcript. They've seen the activities. The essay answers a different question, however. Who is this person? That's what the essay should really be looking at, and it should show it's yourself that way. One mistake students are making is trying to write what they think the colleges want to hear. No, not a good idea. Instead, you should be writing something that that you yourself could write. It's very important. I just sat on a committee where I looked at a bunch of applications for a scholarship, and I was a little shocked at some of the essays I was reading. I think they definitely could have done a much better job at that. So the ones that really stood out got the most points, of course. So the best essays don't have to describe like these great accomplishments that you've done. That's not it. The strongest essays are about the ordinary moments that reveal extraordinary growth in your life. Think about your 9th through 12th grade years, maybe even when you were a child, something maybe affected you, something in your life. I saw that a lot in the essays that I did read. Admission officers aren't looking for the perfection. I think some people think that. They're actually looking for maturity, reflection. Self-awareness is very big because a lot of people are not really self-aware. Growth is huge. So the essay should answer these questions. What did I learn? How have I changed? What motivated me? And what perspective will I bring to the campus, to the college campus? What perspective will you bring? So how did I learn something? How has it changed me? What motivated me? Okay. And I actually have a blog coming out. I think it's tonight. It's on momentum, yields motivation. So take a look at that off my website. It should hit tonight, and also on my social media pages. It's a good one. And another important consideration is authenticity. I kind of mentioned this word briefly a little while ago, but with the AI tools are becoming more common, colleges are paying closer attention to essays that sound very polished and generic. They'll know if you're using AI. You can certainly help, AI can certainly help students brainstorm ideas, organize their thoughts, or improve the grammar. But it should never replace the student's authentic voice. Admissions officers are reading like loads of essays every year, so they can recognize when an essay sounds, very genuine or not. Students should use AI as a tool, not as them being the author. Okay, let's not use AI as, hey, write it for me. Parents need to resist the temptation to also rewrite the essay for their child because, again, those college admissions people, they'll recognize it. Your job, because I was a language arts coach, so I could recognize if somebody else was writing this essay. Your job is to coach parents, to ask questions, to encourage reflection, offer feedback, but let your child's personality come through in the essay. The essay should sound like an 18-year-old, not a parent, not a counselor, not a professional writer. One exercise I often recommend is asking students, what story would your best friend immediately recognize as being yours? What story would your best friend immediately recognize as yours? If it sounds anything different, then more than likely there was too much help being given. Those personal experiences often become the most memorable essays, actually. So college, here to wrap up, college admissions have become much more holistic than ever before. Success isn't about chasing the perfection. It's about presenting an authentic picture of who the student is, the strong academics, the appropriate testing, the meaningful involvement outside in community, or leadership roles, thoughtful essays, and genuine character is very important. These pieces together are going to create a compelling application, I promise you. As parents, your role isn't to manufacture this perfect student. It is to help your student discover and communicate their strengths and their confidence. When students understand their own story, that's when the applications become memorable and they stand out above the rest. So I want to thank you for joining me today. If your family has any questions about the SAT, ACT prep, or college essay application strategy, or you're choosing the right college fit, we'd love to help you. I'm going to put my information here. You can text me at this number, or you can email me at that info@dynamislearningacademy.com email address, because we work along with families throughout the entire college transition and admissions journey, from test prep and academic coaching and college application and essay support. We have the SAT, ACT tutor who's had over 30 years experience. Actually, my college essay writing person can also do SAT, ACT prep. I have really 3 that can do that. If you like any additional resources, be sure to visit my website to reach out to us. You can go again to the website and then hit contact us to get to me. You can just type what it is you're looking for. We're always happy to answer your questions to help students put their best foot forward. We have been actually quite busy this summer with SAT, ACT prep, starting one again tomorrow. We have a couple pairs of twins that we're doing. So, now's the time to be thinking about if your child's going to take it in September. Definitely, if you're even going to take it in December, even better that you're thinking in advance. December is a pretty big time for juniors to be taking it, especially if they already have their math, like Algebra 2 and geometry behind them. They can do it. We've been doing 10th graders since this past fall. So 10th grade, a lot of 10th graders are ready to go ahead and take it. If they're capable of prepping, great. If they're working, they have extracurricular activities, we can work around their schedule. My tutors are very good about that. So I just want to invite you to contact me so we can have a discussion about it. And let's not wait to the last minute. College essay writing should have already begun. If your child isn't writing it, they should be writing their first draft. We can take a look at that, or if they're totally stuck and have no idea, my college essay writing coach can help them formulate ideas and get those ideas flowing out of them. If you can't, definitely contact me for college essay writing, SAT, ACT prep, and we do K through 12 tutoring, of course, all year round, and foreign languages if they need help with that. All right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. We will see you again next Tuesday at 12 noon. July will be my last month for the Lunch and Learn series. August is very busy for me. Decided not to roll this out into September like I normally do, but I'll be popping in and out every month doing some of these Facebook Lives, especially at the beginning of the school year. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day and week. Bye for now. See ya.